Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Tammy from Homesteading in the City with Tammy. If you've been here from the beginning, I really appreciate you coming by each week and watching my videos that I put out. You don't know how much that means to me. If this is the first time you've been here, I really appreciate you stopping by. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Today's video, I'm going to talk about what you can do with those canned potatoes that you canned over the winter last year. If that's something that interests you, stick around. So the canned potatoes that you have over the winter, I always go and get like a 50-pound bag of potatoes, and then I will just can them. Now I can them raw pack is what they call that, where you just peel the skins off of them and you put them in a jar and cover them with water. As you can see, they're really cloudy, and that's the starch in the potatoes that comes out. And a lot of times it'll settle in the bottom. Being that I brought it up from downstairs, it stirred it up a little bit. So what I do is I just open up the jar, and then I will pour the contents into my colander there, and I will rinse it really well with cold water to get all of the starch off of the potatoes. Now, as I open it up here, I already cracked it. You can see the top few potatoes are out of the water, and they're a little on the brown side. I would throw these away because they're browner than I would like to see them for even eating just regular with mashed potatoes. I would be throwing these away. They're just a little bit too brown. But the ones that are under the water are not brown. So here's another one that's out of the water that turned brown. Oops, sorry. Out of the water that turned brown on us. But the rest of them, one more that's kind of brown there. But the rest of them they're fine. They're under the water, and they're fine. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just pour them out into the jar. And as you can see, all of the starch that came off them. And I'm just going to take and rinse them with some cold water just to make sure I get all of the starch off of the potatoes. And once you have all the starch off the potatoes, you can just let them drain and drip dry a little bit so that that you can use them to make potato salad today with those potatoes. But I've taken those canned potatoes, and I've made German potato salad. I've made just boiled them and made mashed potatoes. I've used them in soups, and I've used them for home fries, or home fries. They're not the shreds. I get home fries and hash browns mixed up. So the home fries. Now with home fries, I would take these and I would sit them in the refrigerator. I would cut them into the small pieces that I wanted for frying them, and then I would put them in the refrigerator to kind of dehydrate them a little bit, because since they've been soaking in water, they are pretty moist. So they'll just kind of, if you don't let them dehydrate, they'll just kind of be mush when you try to fry them. They really don't fry up real well. But if you cut them into your small bite-sized pieces that you have and lay them on a cookie sheet with paper towel, after they've drained for quite a bit, they will dehydrate enough that when you go to fry them up, they'll be like if you were to boil potatoes the night before and put them in the refrigerator and then try to fry them for home fries, or using a baked potato that you did in the oven or whatever. Either way, however you do that, it'll be the same kind of thing. And I've done that multiple times. I've also used my canned potatoes in like casseroles that call for potatoes like that. They call it the funeral casserole. I'll cut them up into small bite-sized pieces and add them to those casseroles and stuff like that if I don't have the frozen hash browns. They work just the same. And breakfast casseroles and different things like that. So you're able to use the canned potatoes just like if you were to use them for, if you were to peel potatoes. Problem is, when I go to buy potatoes at the store, I'll buy them on Wednesday. I don't need to use them till Saturday or Sunday, and by the time I get to using them, they've already started to grow eyes and get sprouts, and then they get soft. And I'll use them the first time. Well, by the next time I want them, they're really got vines and everything on them. So I end up throwing away a lot of potatoes, or I plant them in the garden, and I don't get very many potatoes out of those when I put them in the garden. And it's just it takes a lot of space to grow potatoes. So I usually will go to one of the farms that we have locally, because we have a couple of potato farms locally that I can get potatoes from, and I can get a 50-pound bag of potatoes for relatively cheap, like $20 for a 50-pound bag of potatoes, or cheaper. And you figure when you go to the store, a 5-pound bag of potatoes at the store is $5 almost. It's cheaper to go get the 50-pound bag. And I will usually do that in the fall around November. And then I'll use them for Thanksgiving and some for Christmas. And then when I'm done, I will end up peeling them and canning them so that I don't lose the rest of the potatoes that I have. But they will last longer when they're freshly out of the ground that way, to get eyes on them, than coming to the store and getting the potatoes. So today I'm going to use these potatoes here for making potato salad. I'm not going to show you how to make potato salad. What I like to do is, they're not completely 100% cooked. They're still a little on the firm side. So I will cut them into the size that I want for my potato salad. Then I will actually boil them for 5 to 7 minutes to make sure that they're nice and soft. I like my potato salad warm. So I will do that so that and then serve it while it's warm. But that's what and nobody knows that I'm using canned potatoes in my potato salad. And I do it almost all the time because I never have potatoes in the house. Now that I have my potatoes cut into the bite-sized pieces that I would use for my potato salad, I'm just going to cover them with water and probably salt them a little bit, because I don't really salt my potatoes when I can them. You can put salt in the water when you can your vegetables. I usually don't, because I try to keep the amount of sodium down. So I'll probably put a little bit of salt in the water, so when they boil, then they will finish cooking, because some of them are still a little bit firm. When I can my potatoes, I raw pack them, and I try to cut them about the same size, but some of them are a little bit bigger than others. So some of them cook all the way through, and some of them are still a little bit al dente, if you want to call it that. They're just still quite firm. You can cut through them and they're soft, and you could eat them that way, but I like a nice soft potato when I'm eating potato salad. I don't like a half-cooked potato. So I usually end up just recooking them so that they're nice and soft. And this allows you to, control, you don't have to do this. This is just what I do. Some of the potatoes that are completely cooked, you could just eat. They're not bad. There's nothing wrong with them. You don't have to cook them, but if you wanted warm potatoes, then you would do that. I've used these potatoes. I've also sliced them and used them in scalloped potatoes. It makes a real easy, quick scalloped potato because they're already cooked most of the way. You'll take your sauce that you make, your cream sauce that you normally make to put on top of them. You would put that on them, put them in the oven, and, less than 30 minutes, you'll have your potatoes done, when you're trying to cook other things, instead of like an hour or 2 hours for scalloped potatoes normally when you're doing them raw. This makes it a lot quicker to do some scalloped potatoes, and same with your German potato salad. It just makes it go a little bit quicker because the potatoes are already 90% cooked. It just makes it just heat up a little bit faster. So that's those are the things that I do with my canned potatoes, and nobody really knows the difference that I'm using canned potatoes in all of the baking that I do. So just so you know that you can use, canned potatoes in almost everything that you would use a regular fresh potato in. It's just already 90% cooked. So you just have to keep that in mind when you're making something, that you don't need that cooking time to cook that potato. Like if you're putting soup together and you want, a potato soup, you put it all together, you cook it, all you have to do is bring it to a boil and your soup's ready. Because once it starts boiling, it'll boil for a few minutes and the rest of the potatoes, they're hot, they're ready to go. You don't have to do anything else with it. So canned potatoes are a real convenient food that you can have, and it cuts down your processing and cooking time to get a full meal on the table after you get home from work. You don't have to worry about having to take, 20 minutes to do potatoes where you have to peel them and, cut them all up and boil them. If they're already pre-cooked, all you have to do is bring the water to a boil, 5 to 10 minutes boiling them max, and they're nice and soft, and you can mash them and have mashed potatoes, or put something together in the morning and let it sit all day, and then just stick it in the oven when you get home and the potatoes are already cooked. It just makes meals a lot quicker. So like I said, I'm not going to show you how to make your potato salad because everybody makes potato salad different. I just wanted to show you some of the things that I use my canned potatoes for. Well, everybody, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching. And hopefully it was informative for you and that maybe you will consider canning potatoes. If you like this video, please subscribe, hit the notifications and the thumbs up. And as always, I will catch you on the next one. Bye.